All right, my people, welcome back. Welcome back. Let's talk about American gospel artist Kirk Franklin. Let's talk about Kirk Franklin. Let's just warm up. Let's warm up real quick. Welcome, Natu. I see you, Natu. Welcome, NRRF. Welcome. All right, good to see you. All right, good. So, yeah, let's talk about Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin has been trending over the past few days here, and I want us to talk about him real quickly to warm up shows. But what is he talking about? He's talking about weaponizing of quite a few things by the church. As a matter of fact, he's talking about a few things that the church, in his opinion, has been weaponizing. But if you recall, if you remember, a few months ago we covered the Kirk Franklin story. I think it was Father's Day, some kind of Father's Day special documentary that he did. Kirk Franklin is a 54-year-old man, by the way. Like I said, American gospel singer, and he's you see this picture. We've known him for that long. I've known him for that long. You know, that picture I think is from the. Let me see, what picture is this? This picture is the family. That's got to be the mid-90s. Okay. That's got to be the mid-90s. This got to be like, forever, ever we worship you. Forever, ever we worship you. Or melodies from heaven, right down on me. Right, songs like that, right? So Kirk Franklin is somebody that, by the way, is the best-selling gospel artist of all time. All time. Yeah. So if you grew up in Nigeria in the 90s, you knew Kirk Franklin songs, along with maybe the Ron Kenolis, maybe the Dalmons, but you definitely knew Kirk Franklin. But yes, that's the guy we're talking about today. So he's been a little bit rebellious for a little while now. I mean, he's always been the rebellious type. He's always pushed against the status quo when it comes to gospel music, which is probably why he became the top selling of all time. He's like the Michael Jackson of gospel music, period. Is anybody else? No, it's Kirk Franklin. It's him. All right, it is him. So you can obviously probably figure it out that they will probably call him of the world. Well, he's talking. Kirk Franklin is talking. So let me read this thing here. I'm looking at this on NigerianBulletin.com. So Nigerians have opinions about what he said. The headline says Nigerians weigh in on Kirk Franklin's claim that marriage is weaponized in Christianity. Gospel artist Kirk Franklin criticized Western Christianity for weaponizing marriage against single individuals. Okay, he's fighting for people who are single, arguing that marriage is often portrayed as a solution to sin. He emphasized that singleness also has a divine purpose, sparking widespread online debate about religious expectations and societal pressures on marriage. Hold on one second. There you go. All right, so, and I read on. So, societal pressures on marriage, religious expectations, and societal pressures on marriage. Kirk Franklin has been married for like almost 30 years or so, by the way. Let me check. Let me see. How long has he been married? He's been married to her since 1996, almost 30 years. Yeah, like 28 years. They have 4 children, blended family, one from previous relationships, one from previous, and then 2 together, something like that. Anyway, so he said a renowned recently started up a conversation about the way marriage is perceived within Western Christianity. In a candid discussion on Cam Newton's Funky Friday show, Franklin criticized how marriage, along with giving and sexuality, by the way, his first seed, came out on a public TV show saying that I think he said he's bisexual or something like that. He also spoke to that. He said he loved his son regardless. So he can relate. So he says sexuality has been weaponized against single individuals by the Christian community. He emphasized that marriage is often portrayed as a remedy for sin, but in reality it doesn't fix the underlying issues. Franklin shared his personal experience, explaining how religious dogma had complicated his marriage with Tammy Collins. He pointed out that many people, especially single women, face judgment and pressure to marry as if their worth and identity depend on it. He argued that this belief is not only dysfunctional but also distorts God's intentions. Franklin underscored that marriage is not a prerequisite for being used by God, noting that singleness can also be a gift with a divine purpose. His comments quickly sparked reactions online, with many people resonating with his views and others expressing their disagreement. Of course, Nigerians probably agree with him. Now, some users on social media praised Franklin for speaking out, noting that these traditional beliefs often lead to rushed marriages and subsequent divorces, while others criticized him for challenging long-held Christian values. I think probably Nigerians will be divided on these opinions. I think they'll be divided. Let me see. The conversation has prompted a broader reflection on how religious institutions might be contributing to harmful societal pressures. All right, so societal pressures are real. Franklin, who has been married since 1996, continues to advocate for a more nuanced understanding of faith. That means woke. Woke understanding of faith and relationships, urging believers to avoid letting cultural norms dictate their spiritual journey. All right, let me play this small video on Twitter, and then let's listen to it, and then we'll talk a little bit. Okay, let's do that. Let's see. Come on, let's go, bro.
Weaponized in Western Christianity. Giving
it's not talking.
In Western Christianity, sexuality
is it not talking?
Has been weaponized. For
I
example,
can't hear it.
Any woman
is there a
listening
reason why
to
it's
this
not talking?
can
Let's
attest.
see. Let me see here if we can get it talking.
Has been weaponized.
I can't hear it. Can you guys hear it by any chance? Can you guys hear what he's saying? Does this not have any audio? Can you guys hear that? Let me find it on YouTube. Because I actually watched the whole live stream today. I'm sure a lot of people will probably take him out of context. Obviously, one thing led to another. And let's see if I can find it real quick. Let's see how fast I can find this. Okay, I think I find it. Let me see. Can you guys hear this? Let me know if you can hear this.
So McDonald's is pairing
you could hear it. For some reason I couldn't hear it.
With 5 fashion insiders.
Well, let's try this one.
Together, we can change the face of fashion.
Allow me to cook. The biggest gospel
I think it's
artist.
right about here. There you go.
Tell me about Miss Tammy.
Miss Tammy.
Okay, there you have
Miss
it.
Tammy is a beautiful soul. She is a beautiful woman. She deserves much better than me. She deserves more than what I would ever be able to give her. She's an incredible, incredible mother. I mean, I have envied what my kids have because I did not have that. She's an incredible daughter, incredible sister, incredible aunt, incredible grandmother.
Let me see if I can move a little forward.
You know, she and I both, I was maneuvering a lot in fear. See, at my wedding, the church was full of people. There was not one person in that church related to me.
All right, so that's some of the things he spoke to. There was nobody related to him at his wedding. So since you guys could hear this, well, you said it was distorted, right? So let me just avoid it. Let's just go by what I have on the, let's see. Okay, this is why. I have it open in multiple places, that's why. Let's play it from here. Let's do that.
I believe that marriage has been weaponized in Western Christianity. Giving has been weaponized in Western Christianity. Sexuality has been weaponized. For example, any woman listening to this can attest in our culture. Don't be no 30, 35-year-old single black woman and go to the family reunion. All the older women are gonna do nothing. They're gonna look at you and wonder, why you not married?
Where your man at? Where your kids at?
Like it's a
Where your
prerequisite
kids at?
for identity and value.
Where your
that if you
kids
don't have a
at?
man, if you don't have kids, that something about
Thank you, Lady Never.
Do you
Thank you, Chinye.
understand how dysfunctional these messages are?
Yeah.
And how
Hit
we
the like button. Thank you. Hit the like
spiritualize these
button.
messages. Paul said, but marriage is a necessary distraction. I have many friends.
Thank you, thank you. Hit the like button if you just came in.
Ministry at church, and the church has told them, if you're gonna be in ministry, you can't be single. We're not gonna let you work with the youth ministry if you're single. You can't do this if you're single.
You can't be the
what
president
people
of
do, they
United States
quickly
if you're
get
single?
married, thinking that they're fulfilling God's will for their lives, but they are fulfilling man's dogma. You can be single and be used by God. You can be single and have purpose. Being married is not a prerequisite for God's hand on your life. It is not, but we've weaponized it. And then crucify people, where my camera at?
Right
and
there.
And then crucify people when those same marriages don't.
Bam!
All right. So, yeah, that's what he's saying. So let me know what your opinions are. This is Carl Franklin about 30, 40 years ago, something like that. But let me know what I want to know what your thoughts are about this. Let me come to the chat. Okay. Let me know what your thoughts are about this. Christians should continue. They will end up in McDonald's like the Church of England with empty pews. Is Church of England empty? My brother is my cousin. My first cousin is actually a reverend in the Church of England. And I don't know. Is it empty? It's getting empty these days, right? Chinye says he's absolutely right about it. Okay. Chinye says so sad. All right. Thank you, Lady Navarre. I appreciate you for that. Let's see. We can hear it. Okay, yes. Okay. There are some Christian values that is not Christ's teaching that should be challenged no matter how long they've been held. This thing na struggle. This thing na struggle. Okay, so I'll tell you what. I think I understand where it's coming from. I think it's mostly let me show you what he's talking about. This is how I'm going to conclude this segment. Okay, and yes, the church is guilty a lot of it. All right. See these poisons right here on the screen: shaming, insult, blame, fault, judgment, condemnation, guilt, right, wrong, sarcasm. Okay, not that, but you know, like the first 7. This is where it's coming from. I've always talked about that here. So, and I noticed that Carl Franklin, I've been talking more about that as well. And I think he's just trying to, you know, some people might say he's justifying his lifestyle. Like he's come out and said he was promiscuous back in 95 after he had blown to be, you know, obviously he went through his own phase as a young man with all those attention. Yes, gospel attention. You know, obviously with his own trauma, his mother still denies him of a truth after 2 different DNA reports reveals that a certain person was his father. The mother is still denying him, so he has he can relate to a lot of judgmental things that he probably struggled with. You saw that clip I played where he said he was maneuvering with or within fear. Yeah, if all you're doing is just operating from a place of fear all the time, it can backfire. You know, there's fear of God. There is fear of your parents. You have to have context around these things. So in other words, we have to bring it down to specific case by case. It just depends. So anyone can also take what he's saying out of context and say, hey, he's just saying everybody just leave anyhow. I don't think that's what he's saying. I think he's saying that you guys are judgmental in church and you should slow down. Because the same measure that you are judged. What is the verse again? I always forget. Matthew, do not judge. Let me find it. It's not Matthew 7:7. It's not Matthew. Do not judge. Let's see. It's Matthew 7:1. Right? Do not judge or you too will be judged. Right? That part. Matthew 7:1. Do not judge or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the same measure you use, it will be measured to you. Right? Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your eye? Now, here's the thing. Nobody ever admits that they judge. Nobody, in fact, most people can't really see, they can't tell that they're judging. In their mind, it's just doing the right thing. Right? And I get it. I get the ambiguity in that. Now, here's what you pay attention to as an individual. Pay attention to the fact that there's ambiguity oftentimes. So lean in a little bit more and try to listen to other people and see other people's perspectives. You might just find that they feel as though you've been judgmental, right? So though that wasn't your intentions, yeah, intentions, right? Yeah, maybe that wasn't your intentions. That's why you should listen a little bit longer than you're talking. Communication is 80% listening. Ginger said that's got to be extremely painful that your mother still denies being your mother even up to your 50s after obtaining 2 DNA tests. A man that's actually down the street, there's all type of reasons to believe that that's just his father and they look alike. The spirit of rejection is so deeply rooted and has affected him so much. He's in therapy. I pray God helps him thought through his pain. Yeah. Welcome, Chidima. Yeah. So he can relate with feeling judged for so long. At his wedding, he was the only one from his own family, and it was packed. And his wife had everybody, all siblings, seven of them siblings, all parents. But he was by himself. So imagine the kind of internal battles that kind of person has been going through for a long time. So yes, he's speaking from personal experience, but it's something that we all should pay attention to. What he said is not promoting what he did in the past. He was married the whole time. He's not speaking against marriage. There you go. So a lot of people are going to interpret him that way, you know. Let me see. God can use a single person. Absolutely. Now, there's another angle to it, right? There's certain things that we might say. So, for example, I battle with that. There's a lot of people that can be used to push the kind of stuff that we're teaching from our curriculums, right? And they're not necessarily married. You know, they're not married. Here's what I'll say, okay? It's very possible that person better be moving with a certain level of humility, right? And obviously there must be systems in place to be able to yield to people that have the experience when it comes to this family and marriage of a thing. So I believe strongly that God can use not even just any person, anything, right, to push a message. Yes, it is. I used to attend one over a decade ago. I was almost always a young person in service. I believe you. Church of England. We call them Anglican in Nigeria. Anglican. Church is excellent with judgment and condemnation. Lady Never say, Ola, I feel what he's saying and I kind of agree. Listen, the church does not really have room for half-ass, not so perfect life. If we really go by the way the church operates for the most part, and it's very subtle. So oftentimes it's not their intentions, but that's what it feels like. That's why I said it's not just as simple as telling the church not to judge. You also want to be aware that oftentimes these people they can't smell their own yash. Ola, if you can use a child to a teen and they're not married, then what they say, right, exactly. I wonder why his mom still denies him and whether it was a traumatic experience with the way he got pregnant or she was a mental. You know, he acknowledges that. He acknowledges that his mom also has, she has her own trauma, you know, and he's given lots of grace in that conversation. In fact, at the end of the conversation, it was like, you know, that queen right there, shout out to her, you know, and he tried to, but, you know, he has his own pain too, you know, so stuff, you know, stuff. So anyway, let me know what your thoughts are about this. Again, let me just make sure I cover all the bases in what he said. In terms of weaponizing marriage, yes, if somebody is not married. Now, hey, let's also push back a little bit, right? If you show up to an event and the aunties are there, some of the aunties that will say, when are you getting married? They are not married themselves. Okay? It's just societal standards. But societal standards does translate to societal pressure, right? So we have to acknowledge that it's pressure for a lot of people. It's a lot of pressure and it can be annoying, right? But I also have to tell you that you're probably not going to be able to control the whole society and get them to shut up suddenly. You might want to manage your expectations around societal structures, societal pressures. You might need to equip yourself so you're able to stand some of this stuff when they come. It's really all about how you respond. That's what it comes down to. If you engage, they will engage. If you don't engage, if you see it as just what it is, maybe weakness on their own part, it won't be as bad. It suddenly won't be as bad. But it might be that difficult for you if it's also touching a nerve for you, right? That's why I said keep working on yourself, because at the end of the day, you will not be able to control what the society is going to do, right? They do what again, some of these people that will shame you, they themselves, they're not married, or they are married inside a very unhappy marriage. So it's like you can't shame the shameless. So manage your expectations when it comes to what Kirk Franklin is doing right now. He's an influencer, so I guess you can say that. But if you're an individual and you're expecting that so suddenly one day society will shut down and they will stop asking you, when are you going to get married? It's probably not going to work, right? Maybe we can push against it a little bit so that people can education. The best thing we can do about this is continue to educate ourselves. That education will pass from one person to another, and eventually society will adjust. But I'll tell you what's going to adjust the most. What's going to adjust the society most is when you don't reward the bad behavior with an engagement. That's what's going to be the most effective way to get the change you're looking for. Don't reward the bad behavior with an engagement. Okay? All right. I think will offend people you shouldn't preach about. That is backwards to me. I understand, so it's a lot of nuances, and all he's asking for is just some nuances around the conversation. I think that's all he's asking for. But do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications, pay attention to the poisons. Don't be part of the people pushing poisons. How do you know it's poison? It's how it's received. Pay attention to how it's received. They might still need to hear it. But if you are aware that they might receive you wrongly, you might be able to package your message a little bit better. All right. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll be right back.
Hey Prestige fam, show some love to the video. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Are you in Europe, America, and struggling in your relationship? From argument to abuse and trust issues, we are here to help.
Lola and I founded Prestige Marriage Academy to transform your story. With 20 years of friendship, 17 years of marriage, experience with navigating the ups and downs of marriage, and personalized coaching, our 12-month program, regularly priced at $9,875, includes 24/7 support. Ignorance is expensive. WhatsApp us at +1 732 305 8577 to book a free discovery session today and qualify for over $8,000 in scholarships. Take charge now.
Don't wing it.
Join us in creating the love life you deserve.